Hey guys, I'm going to do a highly requested video right now. This is going to be my foundation routine. The reason why I never did this is because it's really dumb. Like when you guys watch it, you guys will see it's very, very dumb. You're going to watch it and be like, that's it. But you know, you guys asked, so. I've already prepped my face. I use a different moisturizer when I do face makeup just because if I'm doing face makeup, I don't wear face makeup every day. I'm probably going out, like going clubbing, going to dinner with friends. Anytime when I'm going to wear face makeup, it's because I'm going to take pictures, and I've just found personally that when I put on foundation, it actually photographs a lot better than my bare skin. And so the moisturizer I use is MAC's Lightful Deep Ultra Moisture Cream. You can only get this at freestanding MAC stores or on the MAC website, so you can't actually buy this at a counter inside Macy's or Nordstrom. And I put this all over my face. I've already put this over my face. And one thing I really like about this is that it leaves you really moisturized but doesn't leave you greasy at all. Another thing that I really like about this is that it doesn't have any SPF, because if you're going to be taking photos, you don't want anything with SPF because it'll give you a really white cast. So what I do is I squeeze a little bit of my primer on my back of my hand, and this is Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This one's really thick, and so what I do is I mix it with more of the moisturizer on the back of my hand. I just mix like a tiny little drop of it, and then I put one on my cheeks. And primer is really nice because it makes your foundation last longer, it helps it stick to your skin better, and it helps like fill in any pores and smooth out your skin, especially this one because this one's very thick. And I just use my hand and rub it all on my face, and I bring it underneath my eyes, I look up, and I tap it underneath my eyes. I try to be a lot more gentle with my eye area, because you don't want your concealer to look cakey under there, and I find that putting foundation on really helps. Oh, for those of you guys that asked how I cleared up my cystic acne, I never actually gotten into cystic acne before until I tried BB creams, which is why I hate BB creams, by the way. They're on my crap list, but I just stopped using them and it cleared up, and so I'm really glad because I was afraid that it would scar really badly, and it thankfully didn't. But I really think the Pond's Flawless White helped with that. But it's much easier, you know, to help fix things as they're healing than to go back after it's kind of set in its ways. But yeah, so that's what I do. So I usually let it set for a minute or two, and I really love this moisturizer. If you guys ever try this moisturizer, trust me, you'll like it too. I just got a little sample and I had to buy it. It was just really, really, really good. And so the foundation I use is MAC's Face and Body. This is in C3. I believe this is only available in freestanding stores as well, or on the MAC website. So this is a really, really sheer foundation. If you are looking for any kind of coverage whatsoever, you're definitely gonna need to go back with a concealer or something, you know, to help under eye circles, any pimples. It'll help blend them in a little bit, but it definitely won't cover them. But I personally really like this foundation because I feel like it looks very, very natural. It's supposed to be like waterproof, sweatproof. A lot of people say it lasts a long time. I get pretty oily, but then again, I'm really oily. This isn't the best foundation for oil control, but I love this foundation because of the finish that it gives me. It looks so natural. And so I just shake it up. Like I said, I use this in C3, if you guys are wondering, and I'm about like an NC20. But they don't have like a whole lot of shades. Since it is so sheer, it's very forgiving as far as shades go. I know people who are like NC40 that just use only C4. So there you go. See, it's very liquidy. And now this is the part where I apply, and you guys are going to be like, God, that's dumb. So I apply mostly along here where my freckles are. Sorry, I have to keep looking over there because I can't really see in the small viewfinder. And I put some on my chin, put some on my forehead, put some right here. I even go as far to put some underneath my eyes. So I had to put on less concealer later on, as I find that concealer underneath your eye looks very cakey very quickly. And that's it. That's all I use for my whole entire face. I just rub it in. I know. Fancy. Now there was a time, by the way, when I used to, you know, spray my face with MAC Fix Plus and stipple and then buff and all that crap, but I don't do that anymore because it's honestly just not worth my time, and this gives me just as good of a coverage, and then I try to bring it underneath my chin as well so it blends in with my jawline. And one thing I really like about this foundation is I find that it has a very good yellow undertone, and I'm very yellow, and so I like that this doesn't look very mask-like on me. You guys are disappointed, huh? I told you. I told you it wasn't anything special. And sometimes I don't even wear under eye concealer. Like, see? Today, I'm not probably going to wear under eye concealer because, look, I don't really have under eye circles. That's why I think this stuff really works. People don't believe me. The Shiseido White Lucent. I think it works pretty well. Like, I don't think I really need under eye concealer. I don't know, maybe you think I need under eye concealer, but in the case I do wear under eye concealer, this is what I wear. I try not to wear under eye concealer because I feel like it just gets really cakey really quickly, especially because I tend to make a lot of facial expressions, if you haven't noticed, and this just is no good for under eye concealer. But yeah, then I get really close to the mirror, I make sure I smooth out everything, and honestly, I kid you not, this is the best way to apply this foundation. Usually people do like 2 layers, I usually just do 1. But that's really all I do. Deeply disappointed, aren't you? But in the case I do use under eye concealer, I'm not super picky. The one I use is the Shiseido, the makeup concealer stick in number 2, the medium beige. It's still pretty light though, you'll see. See, that's still not that dark. I think they only have like 3 or 4 different colors in this, just because, you know, it's Asian makeup, so Asian makeup is just kind of narrow-minded as far as shades go. A lot of people like the potted MAC one for under eye concealer. I know a lot of other people that use Makeup Forever concealers, and those are really good as well, especially for photography. And I know a lot of other people that also really like the Lancome Efficierance concealer. I'm not a big fan of Amazing Cosmetics under eye concealer. I think it's so sticky, it's really gross. I don't know why people like it. But yeah, I'll just usually dot it right along here and right along here. Here, I'll just put them on anyways. I kind of did, but not really. I didn't really put any on, and then I just use my finger and I spread it out. I kind of do it in like a sideways V, like right along where it's usually darkest right here. Skin becomes really translucent. I usually only wear under eye concealer if I didn't sleep the day before, and I got a lot of sleep last night. So then I usually let it dry for a few minutes because it's very, very liquidy, as you guys can tell. It's super liquidy, so I usually let it dry for a few minutes. So my setting powder that I use is the Makeup Forever setting powder. I know Coastal Scents has one just like this though. And they've also offering like a bunch of different little sets with it on Sephora right now, because I really feel like, especially for like me, you don't wear face makeup every day, like this is gonna last me the rest of my life. Like there's so much in here, and I've had it for a year and I feel like I've not used any of it. So usually I have a tiny little bit in the cap, I don't know if you can tell. And so I just take my powder brush, just take any big powder brush. This is like the Lancome 5 brush, short-handled. I got this a really long time ago though, so I'm not quite sure if this is still available. And then I just swirl it in the cap in that tiny little amount. You can see it's right on the top of it. And then what I do is I shake it off. You don't want to knock your brush because it makes the ferrule come loose, but then I just kind of shake off any excess. And then I tap this on the back of my arm, back of my hand, whatever you want to do, to get off any of the excess, because this is very easy to make you look like too white and to change the color of your foundation, because if you look at it, it's white, you know, when it's concentrated. But you should put on such a light layer that the color doesn't really interfere with the color of your foundation. So yeah. And then I usually tap it first where I tend to get shiniest. So I get really shiny usually right around here, right above my cheeks, and then I get shiny right here, and on my chin. So I'll usually do 1 dot right here, 1 dot right here, 1 dot, 1 dot, 1 dot. And then after that, I just kind of spread whatever's left on my brush all throughout my face. And I remember to press as opposed to swirling. And I find that this gives me the best finish. So I just press the powder until I find it. You really don't need a lot of this. I feel like the reason why people usually don't like this is because they use too much. But I don't find that I need a whole lot. Oh yeah. And I just tap it all over my face, and that's it. It's my entire face routine. So as you can see, it's not like a huge difference, but it just makes my skin look softer and definitely makes it look more even. My freckles are pretty covered too right now, so yeah. Okay, so for my under eye, I do something a little bit different. I usually just set it with any kind of powder I have laying around. And just like I said, you want to pick a powder without SPF because you don't want the bottom of your eye to be like super white because it'll reflect when you take a photo. So I'm just using, I think this is the dual finish powder. I think this was matte Bisque. I'm not quite sure. This is really old. This is my Lancome. The sticker's gone in the back. It's really old. But yeah, I just swirl my brush in it. And this is a 224, just any kind of small, loose, fluffy brush. And I just very lightly brush it underneath my eyes because if you put too much powder on your eyes, it tends to look very, very cakey. Who wants to look cakey, right? And so do any really finely pressed powder. And that's it. That's my entire face routine. I know, I'm sorry, that's really disappointing. And then usually I put on blush as well, but that is how I do my face makeup when I wear face makeup. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.